Good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here this morning. And today we're going to be discussing choices and how we make them. Type 1, let's start with you.
When I make choices, it has to be the right one. So I look at the overall picture. Do we have the finances? Do we have the resources? What about the people? It's got to come together. It's got to be correct. It can't have any imperfection at all.
I found that response very helpful. Thank you. What about you, type 2?
I make decisions that are most fair to all or most involved. I try to take into account people's interests and making sure they're all right and care for them. Would you like some coffee?
Oh, it's good. I'm finished my Thank you so much.
No worries, no worries.
What about me?
Oh, sorry, Sandra, here's some.
Thank you.
I find that tends to minimise conflicts.
Oh, that was very compassionate. Thank you, type 2. What about you, type 3?
Well, for me, it's all about getting the job done and looking good on the way up. So it's about looking at the pros and cons and getting the task done and eliminating any possibility of failure. I can't afford that.
Goodness me, that's interesting. Type 4, how do you do it? I tend to make choices from the heart. Whilst I will always weigh up the negatives and the positives for anything that I'm doing, depending on the size of it and what it's about, it still is about feeding the soul and what sits comfortably with the soul. And I will accommodate circumstances to meet that need. That's lovely. Number 5.
Well, I use my brain. I try to gather as much information as I can from all the sources that I can, and then I go away to my cave, open up my computer, think about it for a long while, and eventually the choice comes out.
That's very interesting, type 5. Type 6, how do you go about making choices?
I actually really hate making choices. It's just, I'm always worried that I'm gonna make the wrong choice. And if I make the wrong choice, then that means I could be put into a dangerous situation, which I do not wanna be in. I need to make sure that I am safe at all times, physically, mentally, emotionally, all of that. If I do have to make a choice though, I tend to go to, okay, what is the absolute worst case scenario? And what can I do to avoid that happening? And then that's the choice. And the only time I'll go against that is if I know that there's a plan B that will definitely keep me safe if the choice I do make fails.
Awesome. What about you, number 7?
When we're talking about choice, are we talking about the one big choice we got to make in life? Because that just totally freaks me out. I like to have lots of options. There's many ways to do things and many ways to skin a proverbial cat. And if something's not working, stop flogging a dead horse. Not that there's a problem with a horse, but let's look at creative options to fix a problem and make a different choice. Different choices are not illegal.
I like that. Number 8.
Choices? What choices? We all know the only choice worth making is the one that my gut tells me. So, it's my idea with me in control. Besides, that's the only way we get stuff done around here anyway.
Very insightful. Type 9, how do you do things?
I'm usually pretty happy to go with what the crowd wants to go with. I don't really have any strong opinions. If someone was to force me to make a decision, I would just go with what was the most fun and had the minimal amount of work attached.
Oh, wow, how interesting is it that we all take a different approach to making choices?